line. Played, of course, with the Washington, Baltimore, and Capitol Bullets in 1975. He was in the NBA Finals. He was a starting guard. There was Wes Unseld. There was the great one, Elvin Hayes, two Hall of Famers, and then Phil Chenier, who, by the way, they lost to Al Attles and the Golden State Warriors 4-0. I know it hurts, but when you think about Al Attles and what he meant to this game, he passed away recently there in San Francisco, over 60 years with that organization as a player, as a coach, and as a general manager. Phil Chenier joins us on the line. Phil, what do you remember the most about Al? And I'm sure it goes back to 1975, but you grew up in Northern California, went to Cal. You were familiar with the name Al Attles, correct?
Yeah, I was. We were talking earlier, and I was saying that I had kind of forgotten about him in Philly, but I definitely remember him when the team relocated in San Francisco, and he was starting guy. He and Guy Rogers, I'm sorry, and they were the starting backcourt. Wilt was there, Thurman and whatnot, but he was the face of this team for, like you said, 50, 60 years. And the last time I saw him, I was still doing the broadcast for the Wizards, and we actually had a game out there that we did not broadcast. I think it was picked up nationally. So I was just sitting in the stands, and he was sitting over the next row. I got a chance to go over and holler at it for a minute, still smiling, engaging. And, it really hurts. I mean, obviously this is a path that I'm hearing more and more about people that I played with, played against, or was familiar with. And I actually was with lunch. I was at lunch yesterday with Mike Reardon and Kevin Greavy, and they were the ones that told me. I didn't know about it. I guess it happened on Tuesday, but I did not know, and I was caught off guard. And it was really kind of numbing and sad. I mean, I even though they beat us in '75, I really appreciate and respect all that he's met in the Bay Area. Like you said, I was in high school when they were playing out there, so I was following the team, and then he moved into coaching. And, actually I got a chance to play for them. My last team was the Warriors, and he was coaching still. And just a wonderful person, respectful, but one that demanded respect. And over the years, when I talked to some of the old vets, the Dave Deans, the Sam Jones, they would tell me stories about Al Attles, and certainly was not one to mess with.
He is, of course, the great Phil Chenier, an NBA All-Star in his own way. Just recently got inducted into the American Basketball Hall of Fame. Phil, you brought up a name, Mike Reardon, and I'm going to give you a little background because Bobby McQuaige, my cousin, who was also inducted into the American Basketball Hall of Fame with you this past year, gave me this fact about Al. Al did not originally go to North Carolina A&T as a basketball player. He walked on the basketball team. He was known as a football player, and they called him the Bulldog because he had a bite. And if anybody knows about it, let's take it back, 1975. Mike Reardon gets into a situation with the great Rick Barry, and Al is about to come off the bench, and it was almost like a live dog getting ready to go after your boy, Mike Reardon. I'm sure Reardon talked about that during that lunch you guys had the other day, knowing how feisty he was and how physical he was as a defender, and everybody knew you did not mess with Al Attles out of Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah, when I get off the phone, Ronnie, I'm gonna send you a picture. A friend of mine that worked with us at Comcast sent me this picture of that altercation, and it was a picture. Elvin is holding Mike without little resistance, and Wes is doing everything in his might to hold on to Al Attles. And I think the look on Mike Reardon's face was, please, Wes, don't let that man go.
That is funny, man. What a story.
And that's another one in talking to Bobby at that ceremony. I learned a lot about Al, and that was I enjoy hearing those historical moments like that.
He is the one and only Phil Chenier. Phil, first of all, we thank you for joining us. Our Attles also represents something that we see a lot of today. We saw it here with Troy Weaver, a guy from Washington, D.C., and I'm sure you know very well, ended up going to Syracuse, was the general manager. We saw the general manager, obviously, Trajan Langdon is, of course, that guy. It is not odd to see a black man being the general manager of a major NBA team.
Hmm.
But Al Attles, and of course the first was Wayne Emery back in the late 70s with the one and only Milwaukee Bucks. He made the trade
Hmm.
to make Milwaukee give up Lou Alcindor, of course, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But Al was a long-standing general manager after his coaching days with the Warriors.
Hmm.
When you speak of the Warriors back then, there are two big names. There's Rick Barry and there's Al Attles. That's what he resonated and that's what he was. And I was saying here before we got on with you that the Bay Area has lost two really great black stars who made an impact in the community and never left it. One, without a doubt, Willie Mays, the Say
Oh
Hey Kid.
yeah, say
And the
hey
other
kid.
is Al Attles. As a kid growing up, knowing what it was like that Willie Mays was in your background, and for you to end your career back home under Al Attles, I'm almost sure it's kind of chilling what has happened in the last 3 months in reference to childhood stars that not only you may have known, but you were a part of.
Well, let me first say, in terms of Willie Mays, he was everybody's idol. And and that goes back to before I got into Little League. I wanted to try and catch the ball, the basket catch that he used to have. I didn't do that very well, so I got away from it. But just the class and the type of image that he presented out there was great. And I got to say that Al was right there with him. And like I said, I go home every summer, and I would hear people, that were close to him or came in contact with him. I know that he was close to my teammate Charlie Johnson, and when Charlie passed, Al was very supportive. So I mean, just you talking about two really classy, impressionable people that had a major impact in the Bay Area.
Ronnie is the only Phil Chenier, man. Get back to your day. God bless you. Thanks for joining me, Phil. And thanks for giving us that insight on Al Attles.